This is a really bad argument for Bitcoin and quite frankly, other cryptocurrencies too. Now, let me get this cleared up right from the start. I'm not here to call Bitcoin a scam. I'm not here to call it worthless. I'm just here to challenge your thoughts. As an educational channel, my thought process is, you know what? I want to make sure that you're thinking through all the different angles within whatever your decision-making process is. And in regard to this, how do you hold value? How do you grow value? Is Bitcoin, is crypto, are those good ways to go about maintaining and building value? And me personally, I don't think so. And I think I have very good reasoning to suggest this. But like I said, maybe you disagree with me and that's fine. But I do want to give you an alternative and just kind of another angle, because when I see the argument thrown at me that you're about to see in this video, it's just not good. In fact, it actually proves my point. It proves my argument. So let me set up a little context. I had a recent discussion, and Ted was, he mapped things out, but he just ultimately was not really mapping things out to the direction that I think he thought they were headed. So Ted says, Bitcoin has utility. Now, first off, I appreciate you, Ted. I appreciate you making a claim and then defining your terms. So you've made a claim that Bitcoin has utility. Okay, fair enough. What is this utility? It crosses borders. Okay, I'm not refuting that claim. It crosses borders. So do you believe that having the ability to cross borders is a good thing? Let's keep moving. Does it require a third party? Again, do you believe that not needing a third party is a good thing? Can't be forged. So the fact that it cannot be forged, do you believe that that is a good thing? Has a limited supply set at 21 million, so isn't inflationary like fiat money that governments can print. So again, because there's a fixed supply, because it's not like fiat that things can just be printed, do you believe that that is a good thing? Now, I'm assuming you're saying, well, yes, Clay, I believe all those things are good things. And that's the problem I have with it is, in order for these things to have value, it requires that you believe it. It requires that other people believe it. And in other words, if people stop believing in any of those things or all those things, then what happens to Bitcoin? Does Bitcoin actually have value? Now you can say, well, yeah, Clay, all those things are still good. Well, according to who? In my little made up example, let's just say that the vast majority of people say, no, I don't believe those things have any value, because I don't know, maybe something else has come along that has beat those and has made those things that look valuable right now less valuable. And people believe those other things now have more value. Maybe another coin comes along. My core, the core point here is that notice how everything is revolving around. What do you believe about it? And again, in my example, the vast majority of people around the world stop believing that these utility things that I just listed out actually are worthwhile, are good things. Well, does Bitcoin now have any value? To make this very short, let's just say there's two people in the world, me and you. Let's say I stop believing that Bitcoin has those values. So therefore, I'm not going to take Bitcoin as a payment. So does Bitcoin have any value? No, you have something worthless now because I've all of a sudden deemed I don't believe that it has value. But now let's look at it like this. Again, same example, it's just me and you. Me and you, only two people in the world. I have this. This is a baseball bat, wooden baseball bat. I think it was my dad's. But you say, you know what, Clay? I don't believe that if you were to hit me in the face with this, that it's going to hurt. I just don't believe that's the case. So this bat is worthless because I don't believe that it will hurt me when you swing it and hit me in the head. Now, my question to you is this. Does that mean that this bat no longer has worth? No, this bat has worth. It's a physical thing. Regardless of what you believe, if I swing and hit you in the face, it's going to hurt. It's going to knock your teeth out, even if you don't believe that it will. And that's the power in physical, tangible assets, is they are not dependent on what other people believe. Regardless of what you believe about this bat, does not change the fact that this bat will hurt you if I hit you in the face with it. And then this is where the bad argument comes into play. And cars will never replace the horse. So the argument here is, okay, Clay, yeah, you don't believe these things. You don't believe that Bitcoin will ever catch fire. You don't believe that Bitcoin will ever succeed, big picture. Yeah, and the same things were said about the horse. And then what happened? Well, the horses got replaced with cars. But this is two categories here. So let's hop into this example because, again, it proves me out. So the fact that cars replaced horses, meaning horses, yeah, they just weren't the thing used anymore. People looked at horses and said, yeah, those are less valuable. There's no value there anymore. Does that mean that horses now literally had no value? So if I had horses out there, does that mean that there's nothing like left, that I can't do anything with them? Well, no, of course not. There's still other things you can do with the horse. I mean, so do you see that? I can see the argument that, yeah, a lot of people didn't think horses could be replaced, but then they were replaced. But the fact that I still have horses doesn't mean that because they were replaced means that they're totally worthless. There is still value there. Now, I will concede that it could be less value, but there is still value there. And from a very practical point of view, I could still use horses to, till up a garden. I could still use horses if I really needed to as transportation. Is it the most efficient transportation? It's not. But the fact is that even if you believe horses don't provide transformation, that doesn't mean that they don't provide transformation. They still do. Whereas hopping back into the Bitcoin example, if nobody else thinks that Bitcoin is worthwhile and they're not going to accept it as a payment, then your Bitcoin is literally worthless. There's nothing you can do. You can't go and use it as a payment if nobody else is going to accept it as a payment. So that's where you get apples and oranges. That's not convincing to tell me that, well, geez, yeah, and nobody said that, the cars would replace the horses. That's not in the same category when it comes to trying to make an argument for Bitcoin. So just realize that Bitcoin, cryptos, they'll hold value. They do have worth as long as other people think that they have worth. But if those people believe that those things are changing and those worths decrease, well, then it doesn't matter what you believe anymore because it's dependent on what other people believe. So there's no intrinsic value to it. That baseball bat has intrinsic value. It has intrinsic worth because it will hurt you regardless of whether or not you want to believe that it will hurt you. Whereas Bitcoin, that's just not the case. If I refuse to accept it as a payment, then your Bitcoin is ultimately worthless, assuming that nobody else is going to assume it or take it as a payment. So again, I'm not saying, and I realize there's more than two people in the world, but like I said, I prefer real estate. I prefer things that have tangible assets to it or a physical nature. Well, Clay, you could say the same thing about money and the US dollar. No, exactly. So that's why I would never say go all in the US dollar or go all in stocks, because at the end of the day, those are all just paper things. It's just kind of imaginary. They're pieces of paper that say you own something in this company. But yeah, then things start to disappear when it's like, okay, well, but if nobody believes that company has value anymore, well then, yeah, things start to disappear very, very quickly. So keep that in mind. I'm not saying to avoid Bitcoin. I'm not saying to avoid cryptos. I'm just saying, please don't go all in. Please don't make your logic based upon this faulty premise that, oh yeah, well, people never said, the telephone. Whoever thought that would replace, carrier pigeons or whatever. I mean, yeah, things are always changing, but that's the point is you want those things where regardless of what other people think, they're still going to provide you with actual value in the real world. So I hope this helps. If you disagree, as always, leave that down below. But I think we should be able to at least agree that Bitcoin is 100% dependent on other people having value. So at the end of the day, just don't go all in. So would love to hear your thoughts. Even if you disagree, that's completely fine too. Let me know down in the comment section. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for hearing my thoughts. And be very, very careful with this argument because it's just not convincing. First off, thanks so much for watching the entire video. Real quick, before you go, I want to invite you to a live webinar, web class, training, workshop, online event, whatever you want to call it, but it will be me live revealing to you what I discovered that has allowed me to transform myself from being an employee to being my own boss, including how I had only one losing day out of 73 days in total. I'm going to cover 3 keys that have helped me unlock profitable consistency within the markets. The first key is super weird, but in a productive type of way. The second key is super awesome because it quite literally is wired into our DNA as humans, making it very easy to use. But in a cruel way, this becomes a pitfall for many traders. I'll explain it all though, including how to avoid the pitfall that it creates for some. And yeah, the third key, when you hear it, sounds way too good to be true, but it's not, and I'll show you how it all works. Then at the end, I open it up for a question and answer session that is, again, totally live. Even if you can't make the live session, please still sign up as it will be recorded, and you can go back and watch the replay that I will send you. click the image on the screen or click the link down in the description box so you can get the date and time and claim your spot, which I should note is limited due to the fact that this truly is a live event. If you have any questions, let me know. If not, I'll be seeing you soon.